Hey guys, it's Deborah. Just some breaking news. So you may have already heard, but Netanyahu, Bibi, is looking like he is going to be prime minister again. And yeah, I'm just going to go into that a little. So yeah, he is winning the elections and he's pretty much almost won. So yeah, said Netanyahu on course to lead Israel's most right-wing government ever. Partial Israel results suggest. So he's not 100% there, but it's almost there. He has, I guess, a certain amount of seats, and it'll be the most right-wing government ever. So, well, let me just keep reading. With 86% of votes from the general election counted, Mr. Netanyahu's bloc is set to win 65 out of 120 seats. We are close to a big victory, he told jubilant supporters in Jerusalem. However, we will be dependent on the support of the ultra-nationalist religious Zionism party. I mean, this is really interesting. So basically, he relies a lot on the Zionist Orthodox party. Whereas, was it Lapid or the guy, I forget his name, the guy before him, he was obviously completely liberal. So what does this mean? Very interesting. I think what it means, you see the shofars blowing, it's like a very Orthodox situation going on here. So it would definitely line up with a couple things. There's that prophecy that said he'll hand the keys to Messiah. Also, the fact that I find him and Trump have a big link. Like they're always, I remember so they were running together, they were, leading countries together, and then they were indicted / impeached at the same time. Then they left at the same time. And it's like they're coming back at the same time. And even though Netanyahu is so for the Orthodox Jews, he's for the Zionists. And Zionists are big on the whole world will be ruled from Israel. See, that kind of fits that these Zionists, they believe Israel is going to be, and it is the focal point of the world, but there's going to be a ruler or rulers, 70 nations, I believe it is, from Israel. So that fits with the Antichrist and the king's ruling and all the things. So you'd think, oh, he's got the ultra religious people on his side. So that wouldn't be they wouldn't welcome any sort of, beast system or anything like that. But Zionists do believe in the Noahide laws, which relate to just ruling the world using their particular laws. And they're I don't believe they're from the Torah or the Tanakh or anything like that, the Noahide laws. I don't know where they came from. But anyway, so it all fits, and it fits that prophecy of him handing the keys to Messiah. And look, it's linked with DJT coming back. I mean, everything they do is linked. And, I've said this before, but USA is in Jerusalem. I mean, I know a lot of people know that, but come on. So, yeah, and this all relates to the Shoshani prophecy. If you don't know, I've talked about that before, where it says there will be a gate that will fall 3 times and before it's risen the 4th time. Messiah will come. We don't know if this is going to be true or if it is true. There was parts of it that have come true. We don't know, but we're just kind of keeping an eye on all of these things. And what that says is there's a part of it that says when the gate falls and is rebuilt and falls and rebuilt, and many people believe that's the government falling and being rebuilt. It says, I think Messiah, I think it says, I don't remember the exact wording, but basically it's saying on the Sabbath after that, that Messiah will stand at the door. I might be combining a couple prophecies, but basically it relates to the government falling and rising, and it relates to the Sabbath afterwards. Sorry that I'm not saying it perfectly, but you guys, most of you were following this stuff. So what's the Sabbath afterwards? Well, we are in what they believe is the Sabbath year. I believe the Jubilee year is known as the Sabbath year. So there's a link with the prophecy with being in the Sabbath year and the government falling and being rebuilt. And then there's so many other things, like I said, the keys being handed to Messiah from Netanyahu, and just that link with DJT and all the things. So, and the Zionists, the heavy Zionist support, it fits. So I'm not saying 100% all these prophecies are true. We test them. We don't despise them. We don't despise prophecy. We test it. I've had some people say, just let this go and let that go. And I get it. I'm testing them, and we don't have to all perfectly agree. So I'm just looking at these things with you guys and keeping you in the loop. Next item of business is from October 24th. Ukraine Zelensky asks Israel to join fight against Russia. So here we go. Gog and Magog, bring in Israel into this. And then it says Zelensky blasts Israel, suggests Russia, Iran nuclear collusion. So they're saying, oh, you're colluding, I guess that's the word, with the Russians. Ukraine's leader rules against Israel's refusal to provide its Iron Dome missile defense system, saying the attack on his country has brought Moscow and Tehran closer together. So they want the Iron Dome, and Israel is saying no. So that's not going to make people happy. It says here, President Vladimir Zelensky has criticized Israel's neutrality in the Ukraine war, saying the decision by its leaders not to support Kiev with weaponry has encouraged Russia's military partnership with Iran. Addressing a conference on Monday organized by Israel's Haaretz newspaper, Zelensky repeated his request for Israel's Iron Dome anti-missile technology to thwart Russian strikes. Well, God gave them that. God gave Israel the Iron Dome, basically. Ukraine's army is beating the Russians on the battlefield, but unfortunately, we do not have our own Iron Dome. We still do not have a modern and effective air defense and missile defense system that could secure our skies, he said. So, yeah, this is not good. They're saying you're keeping this to yourself. You're neutral. You are now colluding with the Russians or whoever they're saying, Iran, I'm not sure, but basically, yeah, Israel, I'm not sure why they're neutral, but I mean, nobody can really get involved in this war yet up front, because then it is basically saying it is World War III. So at this point, everybody's kind of, pretending they're not involved until this moment that God allows to have it take off. And God provided Israel this defense because that's his chosen land. And yeah, so that's interesting. I thought that was, kind of related to Ezekiel 38 and 39, the Gog and Magog war, the hook in the jaw with Russia wanting resources from Israel. Now you have other people mad at Israel. You got Ukraine mad at Israel. People are, Israel's this tiny little country, and they're all like talking about Israel, and that is what the Bible says will happen. It'll be the stumbling block of the world. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do a little breaking news update and just keep you guys in the loop. And all the prophetic things seem to match up, and it matches what scripture says how it's going to be in the end. And we're watching these players and characters before our very eyes, and we were born for such a time as this. So definitely try to use your time wisely. You were put on this earth for such a time as this, which is to watch literally biblical things unfold, the books being opened, new revelations being given, and that generation that shall not pass away, the fig tree generation that saw Israel become a nation. I just can't believe we've seen this. Even if people don't want to believe we're in the end times, we watched a nation that was dead come back to life and flourish into this place that other countries are begging for. This tiny country that literally was nothing. It was a wasteland before. Countries are asking for their technology in almost basically a world war. So, I mean, this is like, we're watching this. And when we get to heaven, we can be like, if we remember, I don't know how it's going to work, but we can be like, yeah, we were like that last generation and we saw these crazy things. Some of the things are horrendous and hideous and the worst. And then other things are exciting and unbelievable and amazing because prophecy is coming to life, and you're watching the Bible become real. So yeah, some of it's really bad, and then some of it's really exciting and amazing. So all we can do is, trust in the Lord and believe in him, and, be looking for him and share what we know and share the gospel, share what he's shown us about how close we are to the end time. Well, we're in the end times, the end of the end, but his return and all that stuff, and just, yeah, kind of we're along for the ride. I mean, we are here doing work, but inevitably we can't say how it's going to go down. It's completely up to God, 100%. Like, God gave that Iron Dome to Israel. God is in charge. He's completely the one who's the boss. And so all we're doing right now is, looking for him with anticipation and excitement and sharing that with others. So that's what I'm doing here, and hope that blessed you guys and was interesting for you guys. Let's see what's next, because things are happening at like super fast speed. I won't say warp speed, but super fast speed. And it's like the birth pains. Like, there's never a dull moment. It's one after the next. And in fact, we're at a point in labor where there's no gap, because I believe that war, the way it is, I mean, there's no gap in birth pains, because it's every day there's, more about that war. And that war isn't just some small little war. I mean, it's basically like a type of World War III beginning or began already. Belarus joining Russia brought another country in there, So now there's Belarus too. So like I was saying, we're just at a point in the birth pains where there's no gaps. And with labor, you have all these gaps, you have stuff happening, and then a big, lull and a time period where you don't have the pain, and then you have the pain again, and then it's closer and closer, as I'm sure all of you know, until there is no spaces. It's just the pain. And you're just, delivering the baby. It's just, that's what I feel like it is. It's just event after event, birth pain after birth pain. And we've seen them for, decades, centuries. You can say all that, but the convergence is the key. I've said that before. The convergence is the key. All of the things all at once, and the intensity of them increasing in so many areas. The four horsemen, you have the war, you have the pestilence, you have the economic, like, look at what's happening. You have it's like recession and inflation and the food prices, all the things. So that's another rider. And then the B system, the white rider. So you have all of them at an intense pace. I don't believe the seals are opened. That's not me. I don't believe that stuff, but I do believe that all of the four riders are, I guess, like, on their horse, ready to go, however you want to say. That's symbolic, obviously. But the fact is, all the four big things of the seals are happening now in an increased intensity and convergence. Whereas sometimes in the past, you'd have pieces of these things happening. Now you have them all happening at a rapid pace and in a high intensity, and at the same time. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that was encouraging for you guys and interesting, and I'll keep you posted on what is next. I will talk to you again soon. God bless and shalom.